August 8th, 2017, the Maridon Museum here in Butler, Pennsylvania will fill with guests to honor the artistic inspiration of the poet born of fire, Huang, an international artist and a nominee for the Nobel Prize for Literature. Let's go inside. Has a lot of images of the night sky and space, and also your work with Maridon Giuseppe is also with the night sky and space. Where do you get these images from?
我的所有的艺术创作，包括诗、口头书法、绘画，全部是梦境里面出现的。那梦境里面，我感觉是一种生命的血肉之旅。山啊，经历那种你马上补充，它就消失了。我有一个大型项目叫东方独唱，每天晚上夜班上夜经一醒来，我就赤条条的在文字、色彩、线条上打滚完成了这作品。结果画出来以后，我会很奇怪，画得慢，我感觉我就不能再重复。所以呢，这个艺术对我是一种无意识创作，不是刻意的追求。有些创作，我认为艺术家真正艺术家永远一颗平心，永远是无意识创作，永远除那个一般的画像精神的灯火。
Maridon Giuseppe, one of the collaborators with Xiang. This is some of his work back here. The calligraphy, the cosmos, and Xiang. How did that come about?
It started with an evening party where I happen to have a telescope with me. I will look at the night sky every chance I get. I was invited to a party to his apartment, and I happen to have a telescope that we broke out in the terrace to look at the mountains on the moon and the rings of Saturn. And he was completely blown away by this. And I told him, we need to get away from the city to I want to show you there's so much more to see. So we went to Fire Island National Seashore where there is no light pollution. And I had a much larger telescope with me. And I showed him objects beyond our solar system, nebulae and clusters and galaxies. And like myself, I don't know another subject as fascinating as that. And Huang was especially taken aback by it. And according to Ling, his wife, she said he stayed up all night thinking about the experience, saying that something to the effect of, in the time that he was in prison, he was denied the night sky because they tell you when the lights go out. There are no stars, and maybe the moonlight that breaks into the cell. But to actually see all of that put him in a place where he wanted to do an object that transcended his usual political trajectory. He wanted something that transcended politics. And the fact that we all live under the same night sky, no matter where you're from, seemed like the ultimate unifying subject matter. So we came up with the idea of creating large paintings of a cosmic being, which are not very frequent in Asian art.
Cosmic being.
Of cosmic themes of the night sky.
Right.
And what I would do is I would look at an object, a deep sky object, and I would derive from that sketch something from my imagination, what I thought it looked like, and I would discuss this with Huang. And he would write a poem that was in the same wavelength.
Is this where the image of these images, the owl, the monkey, and the nebula? That's where
this happens to be a nebula called C49, also known as the Rosette Nebula, also known as the Red Stone Nebula. I always thought it looked like an Akari, a South American monkey, looking up. And that's not just, it's adjacent to another nebula, Nebula N78 down here, which I always thought looked like a pair of crocodile eyes. So it tells a story of a primitive creature contemplating the cosmos, maybe for the first time, and being sentient. And while this is going on, a predator is looking up at him and has a completely set of different priorities in its mind. So that story kind of came to be in this way. So the nebula's here, a branch of the Milky Way galaxy created the branch that the Akari is standing on as it's just looking up at the night sky and starting to ponder, I guess, its own being. That's what it reminded me of. So no matter how you cut it, it's something that I think we should spend more time looking at, because we spend half of our lifetime under the night sky, and we spend very little time dwelling over it. So this was something to remind us that it's always there, even if the clouds or the light pollution are there. We made it a large scale because it's just so clear.
It should be.
It's one thing to look at something through an eyepiece, or to be out in the field and look at it, but we wanted to give a viewer the feel that they're being enveloped by what they're looking at. And we decided to go with 18 pieces in tribute to the Irish composer John Field, who wrote the first nocturnes in the early 1800s. Chopin would end up writing 21. We were thinking of 21, but then we didn't want to buy another roll of paper, so we went with 18. But John Field, the Irish composer, inspired Chopin to write 21 nocturnes, and we called each of these paintings nocturnes. So there's Nocturne number 1, Nocturne number 2, and these, like the nocturnes of John Field, they were odes to the night sky. And it's something that doesn't matter what your degree is, it doesn't matter what your level of education are, it's one of those realms of science and even art that are accessible to everybody. You go outside, you look up in the sky, and it's all there for everybody. No matter what your social strata, whatever your political stripe is, we're all under the same roof. And that's why we considered it such a unifying collaboration. And it's something that we probably ponder well beyond our lifetimes, and we've been doing since the beginning of time and before time. And that was the inspiration.
Well, how does it feel here to finally unveil?
Started this about 5 years ago in clay. So then it took about 3 years to get it to resin, and then another 2 years to get it into bronze like it is today. So this is a sculpture, bronze sculpture of Yeshua, which is a Tibetan Bon deity of wisdom and protection. And it's about 3 feet high. And when this was made, first I made it in clay, and then it had to be cut up in 22 separate pieces, and we had to make 22 molds. And then from those 22 molds, and then from those molds we had to pour wax, so we had 22 pieces of wax of this, then we had to reassemble it, and we had to make another mold of that, and then pour the bronze in and melt the wax out, chase the bronze, put the bronze all back together, and put the patina on in the end, and this is what we have today. So, and it's all, it follows a strict coda that the Tibetan Bon tradition needs to have in their sacred figures. Like I made a specific effort to pay attention to that so that they will authenticate it, which they eventually did in 2013. His Holiness the Menyu Treason, the worldwide head of Tibetan Bon Buddhism, met with me, and he authenticated it, and so I wanted to get that they would appreciate it fully for what it is, and also that a Western person could appreciate it, just the aesthetics of it as an art piece. So it's really a mix of East and West, and I wanted both sides to be able to engage it. It's the only sculpture in the world of Huang, of this particular deity.
And how much time did this project take from when you first got the idea to today?
Well, it's been 5 years.
5 years?
Yeah, a little over 5 years from when it started to be here today in the museum.
And do you have other plans for other images, whether Buddhism or in other religions, to continue with this sculpture?
If somebody came and said that they're interested in having that done, I mean, it's obvious that it can be done. I think it's a great way to show that cross-cultural collaboration, and that we can appreciate diverse cultures that maybe seem a little alien to us if we really take the time to interpret what they're trying to say. And I do that through art. That that we'll see that there's a lot of connectedness in cultures.
Well, it certainly sounds to me like you've learned a lot about Buddhism. Do you see Buddhism in your own personal?
Well, the thing is, this is Bon. This is
the
original tradition of Tibet. So Bon is not necessarily Buddhism, but it did fuse with Buddhism along the way, and Buddhism borrowed from it, and it has aspects of Buddhism in it. So there's similarities, but they would consider it, you might say it's Bon Buddhism. It's the original indigenous religion of Tibet that they say dates back 100,000 years.
Well, so do you see yourself following along in that religion, Buddhism, Zen, Bon?
Well, I think
because you seem to, in your own personal way, you seem to be very conscious of it.
I think the thing is that all belief systems at the core, the mystical core, are where there's similarity, there's connectedness, there's sameness. They're all kind of pointing to the same thing, and then they have a different vehicle in order to honor that aspect. So.
Excellent. Dennis Keys makes his debut with your wonderful painting. And I'm sorry, what's the title of your work?
Well, I didn't name it.
You didn't?
No. The first 5 people that saw it all said, "Oh my God, what is it?" So that became its title. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
OMG.
OMG.
Right.
OMG. And just a little bit about where this location was. The concept of the cave, and what you saw, and what initiated the project.
Well, it was in the winter. We were cross-country skiing up the rails to trails along the Allegheny River, and we came to an abandoned railroad tunnel, the Rockland Tunnel, and it was freezing cold. Ice was dripping down forming all kinds of crazy ice formations on the floor. And I got inside and took a few photographs, and when I was in there, it was all just black and white. That was all you could see. But when I looked at it on my computer, I could see concentric rings of color surrounding the entrance to the tunnel, which got me thinking about energy patterns that are not visible, but my camera detector could see it. What other energy might exist that an even more powerful detector might see. I thought about the most powerful detector that we know of, the Atlas detector right here.
That's this image here.
Right, that's CERN in Switzerland, under 500 feet underground in a 17-mile-long circular tunnel, shooting protons at each other in opposite directions to create particles. So that's where the whole idea started coming together.
And this is your idea. You started off as a photographic image, and then you went into, it morphed into paint, canvas?
Well, a lot of different images came in and out of it. I took public domain images from the internet, took a lot of my own images that I've shot in different places in the world. I just started seeing how our evolving notions of the nature of the universe have changed the more that we learn. The more we learn from science, the more we have to adapt our philosophies and theology to the scientific facts. So all these digital images started to come together, and finally I got to the point where I thought, well, you know what, this is finished, it's making a statement, but it's really small, it's just on my computer, and maybe it needs something bigger. So got printed on canvas and then overpainted with acrylic.
Well, it's absolutely stunning.
就是我的位置，没有边缘的万千星球的玄欧群的边缘之外，没有边缘的朝后急急后退的滚滚的黑暗边缘之外，向后远去的巨星群闪烁如星般，闪烁如星般。OK。